Welcome to the Stripped Podcast. This is your host, Allison Lassard. Let's get into it. All right, so you've pulled 47 oracle cards, you've saged your apartment, you've quantum leaped, you've studied the law of attraction teachings, you've worked with a manifestation coach, and you're at the point where if somebody tells you to just raise your vibration, you're about to throw a rose quartz at their head. Is this hitting? If so, you've probably outgrown the New Age starter pack and you're feeling like, now what? Where do we go from here? Let's dive in. I totally feel your pain. I was on the New Age path for about 10 years, okay? And it definitely got me to a certain point. It helped me a lot. I got self-awareness. I learned to meditate. At least a starter version of meditation, right? To sit down, to breathe, to listen, to become more aware of what was going on inside. Sort of combining that with therapy, it was a really good foundation. But a lot of us hit a wall because you realize that you don't just need more information. At a certain point, again, the angel numbers, the crystals, the codes, the manifestation hacks, they can only take you so far. Like maybe you're still suffering. Maybe you're doing all of your affirmations and things change to a certain point, but you are plateauing. And this is the thing. When you get to this place, what you need most likely is more depth to the teachings, right? Like you need to go beyond just love and light. A lot of the New Age doesn't integrate the shadow first and foremost, and then there's a real difference between like New Age and an actual lineage. So I'm just gonna pull up my notes per the usual because I do love to have a note, and this is going to be a short one, but this is really, really important because most of the people that are coming to me now, this is where they're at. So like I said, like I feel like New Age at a certain point feels like spiritual junk food. Like you're just kind of eating chips. You're like, all right, like where's the next bag of Cheetos? Because it makes you feel good temporarily, but what you start to realize is that it's not actually getting to the root of your suffering. It's almost like a little Band-Aid. Or maybe you're even like numb, or maybe you're helping other people, but you're secretly still stuck. And it's okay if that's the case. Why does this happen? Again, you've matured. Like you should actually give yourself a pat on the back. The good news is you've grown. You've evolved, but a lot of you are here to do more. You're here to go deeper. You're here to really, truly help raise the consciousness on this planet. It starts with you. You know, if you're here to really serve humanity, then you're probably here to help people stop suffering beyond what you've already done. And the real you is probably ready for something a little more serious, you know? Actual liberation, not just putting a little crystal Band-Aid on it. And I love crystals and I love oracle cards and I do readings still. And like those things are fine. You know what I mean? They're tools, but there's also a path out of suffering and it doesn't end with a Doreen Virtue deck, you know? So welcome to a real initiation. Welcome to spiritual maturity. It's like you hit puberty. So what does depth actually look like? As I said, it's not about more information. I landed in a Buddhist class a couple of years ago when I was also at this point where I'm like, I've hit a wall. I'm definitely ready for more, but I'm not quite sure which lineage to go towards. You know, I dabbled in a lot of different things. I dabbled with like Kundalini yoga for a minute, but that didn't feel correct. And there wasn't a real lineage there, like an ancient lineage. You know, Hinduism and sort of things from India. When I was in yoga, like that wasn't quite feeling correct either. Then I tried a bunch of different things. I tried a different meditation, transcendental meditation. I tried, Kriya yoga and la. And when I landed in the Buddhist class, I literally felt, and I'm not just saying this, when I heard the Dharma the first time, and the Dharma is the Buddhist philosophy. When I heard that, I felt like I was at Harry Potter Hogwarts, opening the magical book of spells, and like all of the secrets of the universe came pouring out is literally how I felt when I heard the Dharma. My body was tingling. I was like, oh my God. I felt like I was home. And this is a lineage of Tibetan Buddhism that I study. And so when you know. But if you're drawn to these things and you're not quite sure, number one, it's not like you have to become a Buddhist. I took vows, but you do not. Well, I forgot to turn my phone off. That was a little bling. who knows? Maybe you are supposed to take vows, but I know that for me, it felt like the correct path. And I studied for a year before I took vows. And that's kind of soon for some people. But for me, I just immediately knew Buddhism was always around. I have like a photo in my apartment that I bought from a girlfriend of mine who was taking pictures out in, like Tibet and Myanmar and Cambodia and places like that in the temples. And so the photo I have is of a young monk inside a Buddhist monk inside of a temple in Myanmar. And I've had that for like almost 15 years, that photo. It's like, it's around, but I wasn't ready yet. But when you're ready, the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So the thing about depth of a lineage is that it's not just about more information, it's about real transformation. You're going like deeper levels. And through discipline, through a daily meditation practice with an actual lineage, like this is alchemy. This is where you really truly start to get to the root of the karmic pattern that's happening in your mind. At least in the school that I study, your reality is coming from your mind in this lineage, not at you. Therefore, you're actually radically responsible for the reality that you're experiencing in every capacity. But the empowerment there is that things are changeable. If it's coming from you, that means it can change. It's not fixed. So this is really good news. When I heard that, I was like, wait, so actually I'm in the driver's seat and I have way more power than I thought I did. It's not like having a God complex. It's the understanding that things can change for the better. So if you're experiencing something and it's not coming at you, it's coming from your mind, a projection of your mind and your own karma, and things are always shifting. This is excellent news. Again, that to me, that was like the most empowering thing I had ever heard. But you do have to be at that point in your journey. Again, if you've been doing the work, if you've been doing the new age stuff, you meditate even, and maybe you even have a pretty consistent meditation practice, but it's light. It's like breath work, or it's like I don't know. It's the light version, LITE. It's like drinking a Diet Coke. You're getting there, but lineage and this type of practice requires more devotion and for you to sit still. It's to stop like going on Hinge for spiritual shit. Like you're not jumping around anymore. You're like, I'm going to pick one thing and actually stay with it for a while and see how that goes. And that's the real difference between like the discipline of choosing a path versus, again, I feel like the new age does get a little bit like junk food. So it's structure. Here's the thing. People get it confused and they're like, they hear discipline and they hear commitment and they get freaked out. Oh my God, I'm going to feel stuck. It's going to be rigid. I'm not going to have flexibility. The ironic thing is that this type of like more structured approach to your spiritual practice actually gives you more freedom because it's like a map. They're basically giving you a roadmap, but it's not a rigid roadmap in the sense of like you shouldn't try it on for size and see if it works for you. The thing that I also love about this Buddhist path for me was that they're very much like, you need to go try it on. You need to go try it. Go test it out. Don't just take my word for it. You have to go see how it works for you. Now, obviously, it's been proven to lead to enlightenment. That's why it's around for thousands of years. But the point is, like, they're not saying this is the only way and don't believe anything else. In Buddhism, they're like, go practice and see. And so, ironically, the structure ends up offering you more freedom because it's an anchor. It's something to come back to. Again, this is why people like religion in many cases, because it gives them a route to take, like a road. But what I loved about Buddhism is it's more, yes, it is a religion technically, but like for me, it's more of a lifestyle. And there isn't this like rigidity in what I'm doing in the sense of I don't get to think for myself. So that's what I think for me, this was the most appealing because I'm a rebel. I don't like to be told what to do. I don't want to have to be strict about things. But again, ironically, when I was like, you know what, I'm going to devote myself and actually do the damn thing, I felt a relaxation happen in my body and an openness to committing more deeply because people weren't up my ass about how it should be and they weren't being rigid. But also my karma was to find cool teachers. So structure can actually set you free. It's like a daily anchor. It's something that you come back to again and again. And again, if there's a path out and it's been like proven to work, why not give it a try? So you don't necessarily just need more information. You need to know what to do with that information to actually create Again, practical changes at the root. So where do you go from here? You start asking different questions, like not what do I want to manifest today? What's on my vision board? I still make like mood boards and vision boards and Pinterest, depending on what I'm focused on. I actually love that. And the visual anchor for me is really cool because I am an artist. And for me, that's how I create. However, if that's as far as you're going, you're not going to get very far because a vision board can only do so much. Again, I feel that many of you are here because you have a higher path. So you're not just being asked to relieve yourself of suffering. For many of you, you're going to be like, you're healers or you're like spiritual practitioners and you're like, I want to help other people get out of suffering. But how is that working? Are you really true? Like, are your clients hitting a wall? Are your clients stuck in the same cycles over and over again? This is what I was noticing for myself. I wanted to take people further, but you can't take people where you haven't gone yet. So that's why when you commit to something and you're like, let me commit to a deeper practice, let me actually stay with something. Just like many of you want like a conscious partnership, but to have a conscious relationship where it's two people and you're committed to one another for the real work, not just to be together and go through the motions. If you want a conscious relationship, that is also a spiritual partnership. And this is tantric union, and this is actually part of my Buddhist lineage, is to use a partner as a teacher. And I mean like use them in the sense of your personal practice. And you guys could do it together too, but your partner doesn't have to be Buddhist or know anything. You can literally do all of this. Your partner may not know anything that you're doing. You're using them as your practice. Okay? But if you want that, you need to sit in the alchemy, and you guys, it fucking burn, baby, burn. I never been through so much burn in my life of the alchemy that happens in this type of connection. It is work. It is worth it. There's so many beautiful things that come as you stay connected with one person and do the work to, again, when I say together, they don't even need to know what you're doing, but maybe they will. You know, I have teachers in my studio who are partners, and they're both Buddhists and they're both practicing this stuff, which is cool, but your partner does not have to be on this path. Okay? You don't even have to be Buddhist to be in conscious partnership, but I can give you guys actual methodology that comes from Tibetan Buddhism to practice also with intimacy. And I'm doing these things, and it is unbelievably powerful. But again, you have to be able to sit in the fire. And so devotion is like that. You don't just get to pick up and leave when it gets hard. You don't just get to be like, okay, bye, I'm going to ghost. You can, but like you're ghosting yourself. That's you versus you. It's always you versus you, actually. So where do you go from New Age? Again, start asking questions deeper than what do I manifest, but like, what am I clinging to that's keeping me in suffering? And what if I were to start to relieve my own suffering? How could I truly help others? Like a bodhisattva is a being that's here to help others get out of suffering, like an earth angel, basically. But if you commit to that path and you're like, I'm in a class right now, in a Dharma class, which is the way of the bodhisattva. And this is like a person that comes to say, I want to be like a soldier. I want to like help others get out of suffering. But you don't do that by being a martyr, and you don't do that by trying to save people in a codependent way. You do that by transforming your mind and being so committed to your own practice and your own mind transforming that you can't help but see the suffering start to dissolve. That's what we're actually doing. We start to purify our own karma. We start to purify our own mind. And as a result, since it's coming from us, we start to see a more beautiful world or a more peaceful world. And it's not going to happen overnight, but it can happen in one lifetime because the Buddha did it in one lifetime. So you start to find teachers or communities that are rooted in actual tradition, right? You're like, I got to stop jumping around and hopping from teacher to teacher and from light language to crystal person to manifestation person, and actually choose a teacher and just stay for a while. Come on in, have a seat, get comfy. Don't just do it for the aesthetic. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are doing it for the vibe. Let's do it for the gram. You have to do it for your pain and the pain of all beings, of all sentient beings. And there is a path that you can truly liberate yourself on. So like I said, if you want to practice these things and you're ready to go deeper, you don't have to become a Buddhist. You don't have to take vows and something. You don't have to like choose a lineage and say, this is it for the rest of my life. But I would recommend that you come and do something and you stay with it for several months, for a year, and actually really try it. And then if it doesn't work for you, or you're like, this is not for me, at least you gave it an honest shot and you went all in. So if this is you and you're at the edge of the new age again, you've outgrown the starter pack, you've done all the things, you've watched all the tarot readings, you've done all the workshops, you've done the Hay House, you've done the Sounds True. Like, do you know what I mean? You've read the books, you've listened to the podcast, and you're like, I know that I'm here for more than this. I'm not here just to help myself. I'm also here to truly help others stop being in pain. How do I do that? This is what I created the Underground membership for, you guys. So you missed the first round of enrollment for founding members. We've already gotten started. July has kicked off, and we're doing a module right now on Love Actually is the name of it. And this is where we're getting into like how to actually love people, because all of the blocks that, like, you don't even know the blocks that you have. People don't understand how to actually love. They know transactional love and conditional love, but not unconditional practicing, and like where love actually comes from, which is, hint, hint, generosity. But anyway, that's what we're diving into this month. And we also always do shadow work as part of it, but I'm very playful and spicy. So mid-month, I do a transmission or a workshop, and there's always going to be some form of like playful shadow work involved. And this is the missing link for a lot of you guys, with especially with love. Like, y'all haven't done like the real shadow stuff. You might think you have, but you have not, I promise. And I will take you there. I will take you there on my magic carpet ride, okay, into the dark side. But you've got to go there, because you're projecting and you don't realize what you're doing, but like I will help you see those blind spots. So this is how I can help you. Get on the wait list, because guess what? I am opening doors back up to join the Underground. It is most likely going to be at the end of August into the fall, but you have to be on the wait list for everything. So check it out. This is not for beginners. Everybody that joined the Underground in this first round, the founding members, are all meditate already. And that's great information, because everyone's already practicing, but what they wanted was depth. What they wanted was more lineage. What they wanted was like a place to be, to really, truly evolve into for the long haul. Like when I found this path, I realized I can do this for the rest of my life. This is not just a weekend warrior workshop. This is like, if you commit and you choose a teacher, which I have, and I have a teacher, I can stay with my teacher. Obviously, he will pass away at some point, but like there will be other teachers that could potentially, you know, be where he's at. But the point is, you choose the lineage and you're like, this is, I'm really going to go for it. But don't worry about that. Just come and try it on for size. So if this interests you and I feel and you resonate with me as a teacher, come on in, you guys. I'm going to make it fun. Nobody's doing it like this, and blending the sacred and the profane and making it fun. I promise. I've been on this path for a long time. I've been watching my community. I know the people in my realm of expertise, okay? And I'm just saying no one's doing this. So come. And that's it, you guys. I love you so much. I'm proud of you. If you've come this far, my point is keep going. There's so much more. Like when I hit the Buddha stuff and I opened this book, I was like, holy shit, this is like a well that goes super deep. And I've only scratched the surface. Like most of us have only scratched the surface. There's so much more. It gets richer, it gets better, it gets more abundant. And as you start to experience these transformations, you guys, it is so fucking magical. It's magical. So I will leave you with that. Get on the wait list at the link in the show notes for the Underground. Like I said, expect in like 2 months or so, the doors are going to reopen. And other than that, follow the podcast, subscribe, come back. I'm sending you guys much love, and I will see you on the next one.